Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. Today's video is the complete restoration of our in-ground pool. If you are new here, we bought this house in 2020 and it had sat for over 20 years with a deck on top of it. So this past summer, Andrew and I completely restored it as a summer weekend project, just the two of us. I documented this process on TikTok in real time, but there is so much content from this project that never made it to the internet, and I know you guys have burning questions. So if you're interested in the behind the scenes of this project from start to finish, keep watching. The first step in this project was removing the deck, which was probably the hardest part. It was incredibly heavy, and not only did we have to take the deck off, we had to dispose of it when this project was over, so we actually had to move the deck twice. We rented a 2-inch trash pump from the Home Depot to suck out the water that had collected inside of the pool over the years, while we worked on taking the deck apart. We really had no idea what we were getting into and whether this pool would even be salvageable, because if the structure was too badly decayed, it would have been too expensive to save the pool, and we wouldn't know if that was the case until it had been completely cleared of water and debris. So Andrew power washed everything to the deep end, and then we began removing the old liner. The black sludge was mostly vegetation, but unfortunately some little critters had been trapped in this death trap. So it wasn't as gross as you might think it would have been, as long as we didn't think about what that black sludge was composed of. We drilled holes in the bottom of buckets so we had somewhere to put the debris, and scooped it out with a shovel. At this point, we could see the rust on the walls and get a better idea of whether this pool was salvageable. We get asked all the time if the pool smelled bad, and I should note we cleaned it in the rain on a cool day, which helped to minimize the smell. I'm sure if we cleaned it on a hot day, it would have smelled way worse, but the smell was comparable to that of the beach. Like, it had a fishy smell, but it wasn't that bad. We also always get asked why we're in like regular clothes, and Andrew was in his Nikes at the start of this process, and it happened so fast we really didn't have time to process what we were even doing. It was like one day we woke up and decided we're going to open the pool, so we really weren't as prepared as we probably should have been considering the circumstances. Plus, we have dogs, so as soon as we removed the deck, we had to work pretty quickly because we didn't want to leave the pool uncovered with our dogs walking around. We sanded off the surface rust to get the sides ready for a rust protectant paint. There were also some spots where the concrete had become really soft from holding water for so many years without a liner, so Andrew patched that up. The walls had to be really smooth, free of any bumps or sharp pieces of rust that could potentially tear the liner when we installed it later on. The concrete around the pool also had to be removed because we were running all new plumbing, changing out the skimmer, moving the location of 2 jets, and Andrew had a day off of work and broke up almost all the concrete with just a hammer and a crowbar. You could pretty much imagine my face when I came home from work to see that almost all the concrete was removed by hand. During this process, he uncovered an old floor drain and some other weird goodies in the dirt, including a few broken dinner plates, the old pool plumbing, and the leg of a doll, although we didn't find the rest of the doll. We had initially reached out to local pool companies to get some help with this project, and all of our emails and phone calls went unanswered. With the pandemic, a lot of people were looking to get pools put in since they were spending so much time at home, so it makes sense. But at that point, we just kind of decided, what the heck? We can do this. Let's figure out how to renovate a pool. Andrew put so many hours into researching this project. I couldn't even tell you how many. Both of us grew up without pools, so we pretty much just researched the whole thing. We had a couple friends and family members with pools, so we asked them for some advice and reached out to like anyone basically who had any pool knowledge for help with this, and just kind of figured it out. Like I said, we were installing all new plumbing for the pool, so we had to trench around the entire perimeter of the pool to lay new lines. We did this in the dead of summer. I think that this was like beginning of August or end of July. So it was back-breakingly good content. There's the leg. But yeah, it was definitely a lot of work. This was really tough. We were digging. It was either end of July or beginning of August, like early August, really hot out. But I'll tell you, after completing a project like this, you feel like you can do anything. Like at this point, nothing can stop us.
You're wearing my clothes.
I feel helpful if I put boots on. Once all the plumbing was hooked up, we tested the lines to make sure we had no leaks or issues. That went well, so we were able to backfill the trenches and pour a new concrete pad for the pool equipment. We will be moving these stairs that lead up to the upper deck and the sliding door. I know it probably seems strange to put pool equipment right in front of that, but that's going to be changing this summer. Together we installed the new pool coping, and then Andrew hooked up the pool equipment. We live in Ontario, Canada, so we did splurge and got a heater for the pool, which is how we were able to enjoy the pool all the way into the end of summer, early October. We started this renovation mid-July, and then we were completely done and swimming by September 1st. After backfilling, we got ready for the concrete. So when it came to pouring new concrete, we decided to hire a company because it was just too much for the two of us to take on. We made the concrete area slightly smaller than it was before because we thought we didn't order enough concrete. In hindsight, there was actually a lot left over, but we would have rather had too much than too little. After the concrete was poured, we had to let it set for 24 to 48 hours, and then Andrew washed off the concrete pigment powder and then sealed the concrete. We went with a slate gray color. And then that brings us to liner day. On liner day, we had help from two friends to install the liner. It was actually a lot easier than we thought it was going to be, but it would have been really tricky with just two people. The liner we went with is called Modesto? I think so, by Pool Supply Canada. I'll have it linked in the description of this video just in case. We taped a vacuum to the inside of the pool under the liner to help suck out the air. This took about an hour or so, and then we had a local water truck deliver the water and fill it up. Our pool is a saltwater pool, so Andrew added the salt and then attached the new jets and the skimmer cover, and then turned on the equipment and got that baby running.
Bro. Feel like a film crew from TVO Kids.
And just like that, we had completely restored our in-ground pool back to its former glory days, and it's ready to be enjoyed for years to come. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to leave them below, but I hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you in our next video.